What's been happening with SKY GODZ? Find out in the April update. Hey everyone, just wanted to give you an April update. Has been a little while since my last update. I'm gonna do this as a podcast instead of a vidcast or vlog, just because it's a little easier. Plus, I really wanted to show off some of the nifty production art. I got so much at this point that we'll just be breezing through the artwork for this podcast. So if you just want to listen to this, then just listen to it. If you want to watch the screen, you will see like all the production sketches. I will try to make them as fast as possible without being annoying. Looking back at the January update, I did announce that there was going to be some stuff that I will possibly know by March, which actually did happen. Surprisingly, or should I say not surprisingly enough, I was pretty much on the money with what I said in January. And I guess I should just trust my intuition and go with that. The reception in the corporate world has been sort of lukewarm, to say the least. I don't think it's anything to do with the quality of the project itself. I think it's just a strange project. I don't think people really understand it, and as a result of that, I'm not going to be intimidated. I don't really care. And I'll just forge ahead and just do it myself. We really live like in a world where people keep bitching about all the Star Wars stuff and Star Trek stuff. It's like boring and all the SJW stuff, and it's just not going anywhere, but the corporate world doesn't really seem to like understand that. They don't really want to embrace anything new. So it's really basically up to independent creators to make new stuff, new exciting stuff, new interesting stuff, and really just keep shaking things up. I mean, especially I think the sci-fi world right now is extremely stale. There's great novels, and there's some good comics, but I think that in the animation and especially in the movie realm, there's really nothing good coming out at all. So as a consequence, Virtual Graphics will produce the show, and we will distribute it basically ourselves to the networks. Now, how is this possible? I'm actually making another video about this, should be up in the next few days, where I talk like in detail about the distribution and how an independent creator essentially can distribute their own works these days. It's really not a problem with distribution. I mean, the technology's here, the networks are here. It's basically all here. I mean, the problem in a nutshell is really the marketing. And how do you get to people? How do you get people to pay attention? And as a result of that, I started like with the social media stuff and quite a while ago. And I think I'm going to give myself enough time to really build up a following. And although, it just hasn't like hit the thousands yet, I'm actually really happy how this is going. I mean, these are really fans that are coming in. And some of the social media fans are turning into really true super fans. And that's exactly what we need for this project. It's not going to do me any good if I got 10,000 followers and 9,999 of them are like bot followers or like some yuppies that never going to buy anything and don't really care about the project. What I really want is like I much rather have less followers and just really people appreciating the whole thing. So I may have to cut a little corners here and there, basically. I mean, the state of the project is essentially that I'm doing a third rewrite right now. This was absolutely necessary because the second rewrite already helped a lot, but the third rewrite will really straighten most of the plot problems and plot holes that may have been there out. I did shift some location stuff around, just because I got some new information and new books and stuff like that, and that gave me some new insights, and just really planning everything out on a grand scale, not just plan one season, but plan like 4 or 5 seasons. So it really all works out. Also very important is that the comic, I've been talking about making a comic book version, manga version, whatever you want to call it, which I'm still planning to do basically, but it's not going to be like a retelling of the anime. It's going to be like in transmedia fashion, like a brand new thing. You know, it's going to be like playing in the present, and it's going to roll up basically the events of the past and basically bring it in the present and sort of like, you know, create the future essentially. You know, so the comic will add a totally new dimension to the entire project. And as a matter of fact, I think the comic will be much easier to do and will be much faster out. I did finish some of my commitments, and I'm finishing another pair of commitments, and I think after that I'll be really rocking on a comic. I mean, the comic's really not that difficult to do. I mean, I've been doing lots and lots of comics with hundreds of pages, so just getting through one comic is not really going to be the end of the world. What I'm going to do with the comic though, and that's kind of good news for most of you basically, because I'm going to make the comic available for free initially. It's going to be for free on the apps. Like I'm mostly looking at Line Webtoon, and there's a few more apps. I've made some contact with new app companies, mostly in Asia, that looked kind of like interesting. And afterwards, I will make the comic available, and that's going to be a pay version then, as an app on Comixology. I'm sure most of you are familiar with Comixology. It's like the largest comic book app distributor, which is owned by Amazon at this point. And they got some really nice stuff there. I mean, it's like an in-app purchase, but it's got like its own technology. They call it the guided view, so you can sort of tap on the panel and sort of like almost works like an animation type of thing, a slide. It's a little app or slideshow, you know, where you can just things move like one panel by panel. It's quite nice. And then I will also make a print version available, and the print version I will only make available as a deluxe edition, hardcover edition. So this is really something for the fans, basically. I mean, it won't be really expensive, but it's definitely going to be more expensive than a regular book that you buy at the bookstore. Probably going to make this available in German, French, and English, and maybe other languages, but we'll see. Most important are those three languages, and I'm trying to have this ready by the book fair. Book fair in Frankfurt's usually in October, so mostly going to be working on this over the summer. What's the date? I've been asked a lot. Like, what's the date for the show? You know, I mean, obviously, I've been pimping it now. Actually, as a matter of fact, those of you who've been following me on Instagram and some other social media, I've been playing around in Photoshop and making a comp of a DVD Blu-ray box. And it's been a lot of fun, you know, just trying to imagine what things could look like. I mean, just making a dummy. But of course, the questions are like, well, where can I buy this? When can I buy this? And the answer is, I really don't know. You know, I can't give you a definitive date. I mean, I keep moving the date, obviously, because this is going to be a pretty big endeavor. You know, I don't know if I'm going to really make 6 episodes a season. Maybe I'm only going to make 4 episodes, so make them a tad bit longer. I have to really, you know, like, that's going to be part of the third rewrite. But what I really like to do, to be honest with you, I definitely want to have something by next year, by the NIF Festival. For those who don't know what that is, this is the Neuchâtel International Fantastic Film Festival here in Switzerland. I've already been speaking there once with George R. R. Martin. That was quite a good experience, and nice people. It's a nice festival. It's kind of small, but it's not really small. It's like one of the, I think it's in the top 5 fantastic film festivals in the world. So, you know, having something premiere in a film festival like that would be a pretty good thing. You know, it will be good internationally. It will be fun to see people's reaction in the movie theaters. So, you know, I'm thinking that from the moment on we're really going to start with the work, it'll be about a year until the first season will be done, which is normal. You know, I mean, it's like pretty much normal, like to have a production time of a year. I mean, if you look at some of the Netflix shows like BoJack Horseman, not that I want to compare BoJack Horseman with SKY GODZ. It's a completely different animal, no pun intended. But, you know, by the way, I do love BoJack Horseman. It's one of my all-time favorite shows. But it's just a completely different animal. And they have 10 episodes, I think. 8 or 10 episodes this season. And they're a little bit longer, though. And took them about a year to do it. So I would say a year seems to be about reasonable. But of course, you know, there will be trailers coming up. There will be more teasers coming up. There will be more production art coming up. So definitely it's not going to get boring, you know, while the show is in the works. But the NIF is going to be usually in July. So I think that the show will probably premiere the NIF 2019. Maybe I should take the 2018 sticker off my off my social media artwork and replace it with a 2019 thing. Time's really not of the essence. The important thing is that it's going to be done, it's going to be done right, and it's going to be done the way I want it done. And if I have to do it all myself, then so be it. I will give you another update in May, and meanwhile, just keep following on the social media, and I hope to see you there. Take care. Bye.